Welcome to the Clarity Confidence Connection Summit, where badass women break through barriers and unlock their next level of success. Ranchelle Van Bryce is a dynamic force dedicated to helping women live their purpose and manifest success in all life facets, from professional achievements to creating a new relationship with their business, as well as improved well-being. As a business intuitive, sacred commerce coach, author, and host of a podcast/TV show, she excels in illuminating each woman's unique potential. Co-creator of this summit, Ranchelle is eager to introduce another inspirational guest. Take it away, Ranchelle.
Hey, everyone. Well, you're going to find Sharon and I on the dance floor, so we'll see you in a couple hours. We're going to go hang out on the dance floor. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Sharon, thank you. You are going to share with us women over 50 how to 3x our energy in 3 days. I loved the specificity of your message. I was like, okay, I want to know more. So I was really excited that I get to be the person who gets to interview you. So thank you so much for joining us here on this.
Thank you.
Honored to have you. And so you are going to share with us tips on how to get up with more energy, get dressed, and get ready with more self-esteem, get out with more passion and joy to rock your bucket list. I mean, everyone, doesn't that sound like so much fun to rock your bucket list? I mean, I want to rock my bucket list. So I'm in. Can't wait for you to share. So Sharon is a sassy woman in her 70s. Love this, who loves to wear bright, exotic clothing, sharing stories of traveling around the world. She recently stepped away from shooting fashion photos in tropical locations to connect with her passion, to up-level mature women's lives. She's learned how to thrive despite many adversities, 2 difficult divorces, serious weight gain, health issues, and recently being in a coma for 2 weeks on life support. I read that and I was like, whoa, wow, right? She'll teach us how to live an even more zesty and juicy life at any age, no matter your life experiences. She's an author, international speaker, and formerly CEO and founder of a nonprofit, Horse Rescue, a place where she coached women working with rescued horses to mentor the human spirit. Seriously, I want to hang out with you. I want to go dance with you, maybe have coffee or wine. And chat. And so excellent. Thank you again for being here. It's fabulous.
Thank you so much. So you kind of gave the whole synopsis of what I'm about to do, which is teach the 3 pillars. Yeah. And I'm a mentor of possibility. I am a woman who empowers other women to live their best life. And as you explained, I've had some adversities and I'm living a great life right now. I'm on the Gulf Coast in Florida, living with the love of my life, just opened an Airbnb. I have a few streams of income and life is great. And I'm living large, traveling the world, but it wasn't always like this. Like I told you, I had a 10-year bout of serious divorce hangover and depression and weight gain and just a lot of really difficult times. And I'd lost my sense of self. And I ended up with a life coach and a personal trainer and a lot of personal growth literature and books and hard work, and pulled out of that to make what I call the Zesty Toolbox, the secrets that I learned how to up the energy and live large at any age. And doesn't matter what's happened to you. So I'm talking about living this great life. But what happened to me just in the midst of this, I returned from a retreat in Mexico where I was speaking. I got a rare form of pneumonia and I ended up in the hospital in a coma on life support for 2 weeks. Then I was in the hospital for 2 months. And I'm a zesty woman, and that was just not my life. Yeah. And when I woke up, I said, how did this happen to me? Yeah. And what can I do to get over this? And what I had my caretakers tell me is that I was going to be on dialysis the rest of my life. I couldn't imagine a life where the first thing I did on a vacation is check for where the dialysis machine is. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And the vitality that I had learned through those 10 years and the secrets that I'm going to share some of the basics with you really saved my life. So I've always thought this was a good idea. And in my coaching, I know that it helps women, but I didn't know that it could be literally a lifesaver, that the vitality that I went in with, the strength that I went in with, the mindset that I went in with, the can-do attitude, brought me back from the brink of death. So I hope you don't ever have to go through something like that, but you will go through adversity. And adversity can be really tough if you don't have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I had those tools. I had learned them from my 10-year, I call it the PhD in adversity. I had learned how to deal with all that stuff. And when the worst happened, where I woke up in the bed and I couldn't even sit up, I thought, oh my God, how did this happen? And one thing that happened for me in that recovery was my daughter made a poster of me paddleboarding, windsurfing, riding horses, traveling the world, and she brought it into the intensive care. And the time I was asleep, she said, she can't see this. And they said, no, but her caregivers can. And it will make them cheerleaders for her recovery. And it did. That poster went with me from hospital room to hospital room. And it inspired them and it inspired me because I knew I wasn't done. I had a family. I had growing grandkids. I had a lot of adventures still to have. And so that poster of my bucket list stuff really was a second part of how I survived, how I moved through that. I had to learn to walk again, to write again, to speak again, and to sit up. So it was a challenge that was just unbelievable. But I had the tools to do it, and I want to give you some of those tools today. So one of them is how to get up with more energy. That's number one. So that's the get up part. And that is, do you wake up out of bed excited for the day, ready to just get out and do it? Or do you hit that snooze button 3 or 4 or 5 times? Well, I'm going to help you figure out how to not do that and to figure out what exactly you can do, what you can do to feel more energetic. And one of those things is to make a commitment. And we can do whatever we put our mind to. And one of those things is, first of all, check your physical self. Do a appointment with your caregiver. Make sure you don't have a thyroid problem, a vitamin B12 problem, a D problem, or an iron problem, which will lead to anemia. So you've got to check all those things because those are real. So check out that. I don't want you to just start taking vitamins without knowing, because you might be fine. And the B's you can get from fish and legumes. The D's you can get from going outside. Again, you can eat fish and legumes as well to bring up your D. And iron is in green leafy vegetables and iron supplements. So those are some things that you can do on that side. And then the other thing is, did you know that 95% of the millionaires and billionaires have a morning routine? They have a plan. They have something that they take care of themselves. Some of them for a half an hour, some of them for a whole hour. So they put themselves on the calendar so that they know that they are going to be up-leveling themselves. They read, they have affirmations, they meditate, they do a gratitude journal. They notice the things that are going well in their life and that they love. And they also have the wherewithal to commit. And commitment is the biggest deal. So I encourage you in my 3X training, I go a little deeper, and there's a workbook that gives you all those things, a gratitude sheet, a affirmation sheet, and some little exercises you can do, and a game plan, a map. And then you choose what you can really do. You know, don't make it so big you can't do it. I make mine, smaller, and then I add more, and then I can't get it all done, and I take some off. So it's a flexible thing. It's something you build and adjust according to what you can get done. But you definitely want to get some of that done, because that's how you're going to be successful, and that's how you're going to have more energy. So if you even do that for 3 days, you will start to feel better. You will start to notice, oh, I kind of am ready to go do something. So that is my first little pillar, is a morning routine and a commitment to do it. And I ask you if you have any quick questions on that.
Yeah,
Or
I love, we were talking about earlier that it's succinct and it's simple. And I think often we feel like it needs to be really complicated, like right, we need a really complicated morning routine. But what you're saying is, right, check your vitamin levels, but there's your vitamin D's, your vitamin B's, vitamin D, right?
B is the other one.
B is the other one, and iron are essential. And so to know what those levels are, right? So to be in awareness,
Right.
and then having a morning routine. And you also said, be flexible in your morning routine, right? And so, because we may have this goal to do, A to F, but one day we might only, do A to C. And so there's that flexibility piece, and adjustment is what I heard you say. Is that correct?
Right. And adjustment's important, because the next pillar that we're going to go into is the get dressed pillar. And the get dressed pillar is really about self-esteem, and about getting dressed, and about how you talk to yourself. And if you beat yourself up for not doing your morning routine, you're downgrading the second thing, which is the get dressed part. So we need to speak nicely to ourselves to up-level our self-esteem. And getting dressed is about putting your ducks in a row, about having everything ready to go, your clothing, but also your day, and you've done your morning routine. So you're kind of checking in with the day. And one of the very most important things you can do to up-level your energy is stop with the self-criticism. Self-talk is huge. Did you know that we have heard over 200,000 no's? You can't do it. You're never going to make it. That's not your cup of tea. No, that's not right for you. 200,000. And most of us are lucky if we've heard 10,000 yeses. So we have created neural pathways through our own upbringing. And, as children, we are told no a lot so we don't get hurt. But we then go into that in our own lives and keep doing it, keep telling us we can't. We actually create physiological pathways in our brain that go to files in our brain. And those files are the can't do it files. So I encourage you to open a new neural pathway. The brain can change, and we can make a new freeway to a new set of files and up-level that 10,000 yeses to our own 100,000 yeses, that we can do it. And that's part of your getting dressed and not beating yourself up for not doing it. And that's why I say the morning routine needs to be flexible, so that it doesn't create more self-doubt and more self-criticism. And then actually getting dressed. So what is that about? So getting dressed is about having clothes that, number one, fit you, that are not really age appropriate, but at least sort of age appropriate. You want to go outside the boundaries a little bit, but, create a pod, I call it, a collection of clothing that all works together. And if you're like me and you love to travel, having a pod that you can grab and go quickly makes your travel so much less stressful. So my sister, I did one for her, and she chose some black basics, but with purple, lavender, and a beautiful bright gold. And we created a pod for her. So she loves to travel, and now she doesn't have to think about it. And that pod consists of a comfy sweatsuit, a dress to go out in, a raincoat, a down vest, a cashmere scarf to add some color and pizzazz, a sarong, a swimsuit, and a pair of flip-flops, a pair of, I like Skechers, they're easy to use and comfortable for shoes, and a pair of sandals. So you can put all that into an easy carry-on and be ready soon. And sometimes as we age, women over 50 get to where we're just using basic colors, black and gray and tan and brown. And I encourage you, even if you have those basics in your wardrobe, to do an inventory and up-level some color, because color is inviting to ourselves and to others. My friend that I did a pod for in purple and lavender went out on a walk, on a beach walk, and she said 4 or 5 people came up to her and talked to her, because bright colors attract people like bees to flowers. Yeah. So don't leave yourself in a doldrum of color that is, not going to make you smile. I choose purple. No, excuse me. I choose pink. and turquoise. Pink because I lived in the Caribbean for 9 years and I saw tons of those beautiful pink sunsets.
Yeah.
Turquoise because the sea there's turquoise and beautiful. And I wear kind of a crazy cowboy hat because I still love the horses, even though I'm not working with them anymore.
Yeah.
So those are my colors. And I suggest you find a color that makes you smile, that reminds you of something that happy. So that's kind of what the Get Dressed is about. It's about self-care. It's about taking care of yourself, speaking nicely to yourself, and choosing things that make you smile. Accessories are good ones because they're always kind of fun. A hat, a scarf, a belt, jewelry, necklace, earrings. So you can up level an outfit on your Get Dressed program in about this much room. You know, you can smush it all a little so that you can have what you want.
Yeah.
And you don't have to spend a lot of money to up level your wardrobe. I buy a lot of used clothing on eBay, and they all come in perfect shape. I shop really expensive clothing on eBay that's like 10%, 20% of what it would cost in a store. So that's my little tip for getting designer stuff at a tremendous discount, as long as I just wash it when it comes, and it always comes in good shape because they don't want bad reviews. So that's a little tip on the Get Dressed routine.
I love that. I've never bought eBay like never bought anything on eBay. I'm like, I'm totally gonna go on eBay now.
I buy Johnny Was. I don't know if you know Johnny Was. It's a very expensive brand. It's embroidered. Each piece is between $300 and $500. They're like sweaters and beautiful shirts. I buy them on, my rule is I don't pay more than $100 for them on eBay. And I have a huge collection of it because I love it. And it's kind of my style. It's kind of the nomad style, you know, kind of the tribal nomad in me. Kind of the old Volkswagen bus that still lives inside me. So that's
boho chic, right?
Yeah, it's boho chic. But you can buy really good. I buy shoes there. I buy everything there. And when I go to a store and see what it really costs, I'm shocked because I paid $80 for it, and I go in a store and it's $200 or $300. So that's your tip for upgrading your pod, as I call it, your traveling collection. And the next pillar is the bucket list one, the get out. So what is get out? Get out, number one, is get outside. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something new. Did you know that you actually physically can absorb the energy that lives in the outdoors? That we are designed to take in that energy. The biggest one is vitamin D. We actually take in vitamin D, and we have the ability to up level our moods and our actual physical self by being in the outdoors. So one is get out, get outside, get off the couch, get out, turn off the sitcoms that you might be watching or binge watching Netflix. A lot of women at my age don't have a regular job, so they can do pretty much what they want. And if they aren't motivated, what they want might be just to sit around and watch something. So I encourage you not to be a watcher, but be a doer and get out there and go outside, number one. Number two is make a bucket list that you can achieve. It's not just a list that you put together for someday. It's a list that's real goals, things that you can accomplish, things that you can put on your calendar, make a date, save the money to do it if it's a big one. But I encourage small bites. Choose a museum you haven't been to in your hometown. Choose a botanical garden that you've wanted to go to, but you haven't gone to. And then reassess your inner circle. Do you have people that say yes? Or are they the naysayers, the ones that say it's too cloudy, it's going to rain, I think there's too much wind? Those kind of people will not enhance your bucket list achievements. So assess your inner circle and get yourself some yes men or women. I have a yes man. He says, yeah, let's do it. And my sister always says yes. And I have a good friend that says yes. But I've had to divert some of the naysayers out of my inner circle. They're still friends, but yes, people that say, I saw a show the other day that's playing a couple of miles from here. Why don't we go see it? So that's it. And to choose things that you can actually do, because you want to have wins. That's part of the self-talk. I'm doing a great job with my bucket list. I'm accomplishing my goals. I'm doing it. And as we age, we're probably not going to go on a trek to the Himalayas. We're probably maybe not going to scuba dive the Barrier Reef, but there's lots of smaller things that we can do that are just as exciting. And travel breeds resilience. If you travel to other countries, you become grateful for being born in the USA because we have what we need: food, shelter, clothing, enough money for most of us. And when you go to other places, 5% of the world has that. The rest, they don't. They don't have enough food, enough shelter, enough clothing, and certainly not enough money. So it builds this gratefulness in and resilience because things aren't going to go right. The bus isn't going to come right. The hotel room isn't what you thought. The airplane got diverted and you ran into some people you didn't like. But you have to be resilient and go, okay, that's part of the experience. That's part of the travel. That's part of learning about other cultures and other races and other religions and other things, because they make you more diverse yourself. And you're never too old to get out and do it. And that's why I love rewilding women. Help them get themselves up off the couch and out to do it. And then they have the vitality to do it, because if you don't take care of yourself, if you're way overweight and you never move and you don't exercise, you won't be able to walk up the steps at the Eiffel Tower. You won't be able to go to Disneyland with your grandkids. So whatever is on your big goals, your big list, the number one things you want to do, you need vitality. And that's what my training does. I'm a life coach and I rewild women and I empower them to be bold and do the things that they have been thinking about, but maybe haven't accomplished. So that's what I love to do. And my health demise made me totally aware of how important that is. Because if I hadn't gone in there already through my bucket list revitalization and all the things that I learned and did to drop the weight and get healthy and do my morning routine, I wouldn't have lived. So I encourage you to take a look at what's in your gifts. One is a Zest assessment, which offers a free 30-minute call with me. It's a little sunflower that you assess your life and add, figure out your big number one, and I'll help you create a little mini plan to up level that spot. And then that same thing is available in the VIP. And it also has my book that I wrote, 30 Stories from Women from Down in the Dumps to Love and Life. And it has a free membership to my membership site, which has 4 more books and about 200 pieces of zesty content to keep you moving, doing your morning plan, doing yoga, doing meditations, doing stuff to live long. We all want to live long, but I don't want to just live long. I want to live well. I don't want to sit in a rocking chair. I want to rock my bucket list. I want to rock my life. And I encourage you that if I'm 74 and can do it, you can too. It's never too late.
Right. I love that. Rewilding women. I'm in. I want to be rewild. Right. Yes. Sarah's like, yes, yes. Excellent. Thank you so much. So we have less than 2 minutes to the end. I mean, you just poured your heart and soul into, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I have the recording, because I'll be listening to this afterwards, totally taking advantage of your gifts. Thank you so much for your generosity. It's been absolutely beautiful. It's been fantastic speaking with you, Sharon. In the last minute here, is there one more, I mean, I can't believe I'm asking you this, but one more bit of wisdom that you can bestow upon us?
Yeah, and that is to make a commitment to do something that I just talked about. Pick one thing and do that one thing, and say to yourself, you're going to do that. Whatever it is, I'm gonna meditate. Okay, that's it. One thing. I'm gonna do 5 minutes of exercise the first thing in the morning. Okay, that's one thing. Choose one thing that I shared with you today that will up-level your energy, up-level your life, and give you the zest. I call it zest. We all were born with zest, but it gets dimmed down through all those naysayers and the no's and the can't do's. So rewild yourself and start with one little thing that I shared with you today that you can do, so that if some big adversity comes your way, you're on a path. You're on a path to rewild yourself. You're on a path to up-level your energy and up-level your zest and your joy and passion for life.
Thank you so much, everyone. Sharon was our last speaker. What a great gift to all of us, and would love for all of you to join us in our closing ceremony, which is next in the next 10 seconds, as soon as, of course, the music starts to play. Let's go over there. Come on, love you all.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session on the Clarity Confidence Connection Summit. Be sure to mark your calendars to join us in Hawaii from November 2nd through the 5th for our premier in-person experience. If you have any questions or want to apply to be a speaker at one of our upcoming events, email our team at breakthrough@clarityconfidenceconnection.com.